Persepolis Rising by James Corey. This is book 7 in the Expanse series, and I really enjoyed it, but this is like a continuation of the series, really setting the stage for the next conflict. So 549 pages, 53 chapters here, and really the only way I can sum it up is introducing Laconia. So the Free Navy was the last two books, was the main antagonist, and they got their ships from the Martian Navy. So there was a splinter group, about a third, I'm not sure exactly the numbers, a half, a third, I don't know, of the Martian Navy split and followed Duterte, I'm not sure how to say his name. Either way, he is the leader of Laconia, and they kind of went off to their own system in the ring gates and quarantined themselves, said nobody comes in, and they pretty much were like, we're not going to come out till we're ready. So this book takes place about 30 years after the last book. So I don't want to say a generation, but almost a generation's worth of, industry changes, economy, culture, all that stuff. And so you get a taste of that and see, what makes, would this, splinter group be considered alien? Are they human? I mean, obviously they're descendants of Martians who are then themselves descendants of Earth, but what makes an alien, I believe, is the thesis or topic of this book. And I thought they did a really good job presenting it, right? There's the battles, the physical activities, trying to, pit one group against the other. But really, if you boil it down to it, what is the thesis? It's who is other? What is an alien? These are humans battling humans. So I like that. So it opens with Freehold. There is the Transport Union, and they contract the Roki. Go head to Freehold, this disgruntled planet who doesn't have any defenses. Bring your warship and, keep them in line, pretty much. So while they're doing that, everything goes down. Laconia, the ship comes in and is like, hey, we're taking over. So this alien battleship, literally alien technology. So, Laconia started by the Martians heading to the system, finding the docks, already partially built ships, and improving and finishing the ships. So then they take one of those battleships with this crazy technology and they bring it into Sol system. So our original solar system, Earth, Mars, the regular planets with the sun. Causes an uproar, turns everything on its head. They're now in charge, right? This alien technology that, is super powerful. They become the leaders of the Sol system. And so it becomes a conflict of everyone versus Laconia. And really, it plays out how you might think, right? Everybody starts shooting. The superior technology wins, and then the setting of the book plays out. So you have this struggle, the old ways, the traditional ways versus the new rulers. So Holden and his crew end up landing on Medina Station, and of course there's a figurehead there who is a new character to this book. There were two new characters. There was Cinna, the captain who is in charge of Medina Station, and then there's Saba. Saba is the leader of the underground, so they kind of, two new characters butt heads at the beginning, or throughout this whole book, but so kind of pit those two characters against each other. And Saba starts the underground, and Holden's crew is like, hey, how do we get a hold of them? How do we join? And so that sets up the whole conflict. Really, I liked the behind the scenes look at Laconia, like why they're set up the way they are, that kind of thing, and they sending representatives and stuff. So it's not just they're bad, we're good. It's, you get to see the layers and that kind of thing. So I like that. The things that I thought about this book, I dislike adding new characters this late, right? There's 9 books in this series, I think, and we're almost done. And they added 2 new major characters. So to me, maybe I'm spoiled. I watched Lost, the TV series. That spoiled a lot of fantasy roles for me because they would add characters. I think it was like a spider episode. They added 2 new characters and then immediately killed them off. So I was very nervous that would happen with these 2 new characters, and it kind of does. So, I mean, I get it. Unless you're writing a tragedy where everybody gets taken out, you don't really want to take out too many main characters unless you're George R. R. Martin. So, they introduce characters that can then be connected with and then killed off. So, and thus keeping the main character. So I get it. It just was something that I don't know. I was thinking about it, and I really liked that. This is human squabbling, right? Some new group comes to power, and everybody battles it out, right, for who wants to be in charge. So I did like that. So 2 things that I was thinking about how I felt about this book. I did really enjoy the twists and turns. I couldn't keep up with it. I wasn't able to stay ahead. I kind of guessed about the 2 new characters being added, but I didn't really know for sure. Yeah, and really the last thing that I felt with this was a sense of wonder. This whole book is about exploring what's possible, the universe, finding a new sense of self out in the universe. And the scene that comes to mind is, how does a space toilet work? So are you accelerating? If you are, there's gravity. If you're not, you're floating around. And so there's a scene where Bobby is using the toilet and the acceleration stops. It was a fun scene. And so, but to me, that kind of, life on a spaceship or on a space station would be very different than, quote unquote, down a gravity well, is how this series describes it. So on a planet. Just really, this whole book did a good job, and there were 2 quotes that I really want to read. Really, were thoughtful and stood out to me. So this one here really is when I noticed the thesis. This is the 2 heads, former head of Earth and current head of the Transport Union. When you see if you can follow me, last long enough and you'll see that they're all our people. Do you mean the Transport Union, Earth, all one big happy family? I told you that you wouldn't understand. The people that are shooting at us, they're people, they're us too. And so really, even though the bad guys are shooting at us, they're still human. Everybody is people, that kind of thing. So that kind of boiled down the essence of this book into 1 chapter. And this is the leader of the Transport Union. She learned long ago that I am a human being. Anything that happens to human beings could happen to me. People fall in love, so maybe I will too. People get jobs, so maybe I will too. And people get sick. People have accidents. And now she's supposed people are divided from their families by war and history. So that could happen to me too. Yeah, it really, was part of being human. Things happen. It happened in the past and it can happen again. Just really liked that. The setup is good at the end. Of course, Holden sacrifices himself for the greater good, so his crew escapes, but he gets captured. So we'll have to wait and see what happens next. Great series. I'm looking forward to finishing it so I can start the TV show on, the TV series is next for me, so that'll be interesting. And remember to buy your books used.